learn to live the Barbarossa beat, and the feeling it gives. Embrace the day, don't let it slide away. Look to the future, not yesterday. Shoot for the stars, you might hit the moon. Work for your dreams, they're gonna come soon. Embrace the day, don't let it slide away. Live for tomorrow, not yesterday. See if you're alive. See if you're alive. Make yourself and see if you're alive. See if you're alive. See if you're alive. Make yourself and see if you're alive. Feel that beat, kick you into life. Barbarossa beat, cause like a knife. Embrace the day, don't let it slide away. Look to the future, not yesterday. Listen to your soul, then set your goal. Shoot for the moon, you're gonna get there soon. Embrace the day, don't let it slide away. Live for tomorrow, not yesterday. See if you're alive. See if you're alive. Make yourself and see if you're alive. See if you're alive. See if you're alive. Make yourself. Tomorrow, not yesterday.
Hello everyone and welcome to CJ on a Boat with Catman.
Hello. What do you want? I'm good, kid.
Good, yeah.
We're on a boat in the sunshine.
Enjoying the views of Dandy Hull?
Yeah, we've got an album coming out, and so enjoying the summer while preparing for the work of what will be my final album with the Ants, and also
So yeah, we're here to promote There's on a Bullet, the Ant Sessions.
There's a Bullet, the Ant Sessions, 2004 to 2018, everything. It's ants on every track, various amounts of ants, different ants. In total, I have got a kind of an ant lineup, as in I've got two drummers, Terry Lee and Barbarossa. We've got a lead guitarist, Marco Peroni. We've got a bass player, Chris Constantino. And sorry, I did the singing.
Great, so maybe you want to start us off just talking a bit about how you got into music in the first place. What were your original inspirations?
Well, as a kid, got to be honest, I loved Elvis. And when I was about 9, planned on marrying Lisa Marie when I found out she existed, and that hasn't happened. She married Jacko. And then, well, it's when the Ants hit big when I was 12. That's when I said, that's what I want to do. And then I went to see the Prince Charming Review tour, and blimey, yeah, and here we are.
Yeah.
That's I just like from that age, I want to be in music, and and we're on a boat.
Yeah. So how did the first contact with the Ants come about?
Right, yeah, well, I mean, I'd been working in Tenerife, performing in bars. I had a residency in a particular bar with a mate of mine called Pat Binnell / Johnny Sprack. And I was like 32 knocking on 33, and I thought, if I'm going to do my own music and actually, try and achieve something that's not being a cover band, then I've got to do it now. So went back to sunny Warsaw with the shirt on my back. Started recording with my mate Double G. And there was this forum, I don't know if it still exists, but I know the website was at adam-ant.net, and there was a forum called Ant Rap. And I like uploaded some MP3s to my website. This was before any streaming or anything. And I remember saying, I put a link to it, and I put "Hello Marco" as the title of the thread. And I said, have a listen to this, let me know what you think. And all I remember was there were 78 comments. I don't know if it's called likes, but 76, sorry, not 78. Accidental exaggeration. And the bat's coming around.
Yeah,
and
coming around.
and then Marco came up and said, "How much you pay this lot then?" And that was my first contact with him, and I kind of had a few emails off and on with him, and then it was New Year's 2004, January the 2nd, my phone rang and I heard this voice go, "Hello, it's Marco." I know it sounds just like the thing on Man Called Marco before his Firebird 7-bit, but that is exactly what happened, and I was frozen. But then we got chatting, and we're going to continue, I think, because we're going to have to cut because the sun's coming in behind us because the boat's just floated off. Right. Oosh. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, we're back on a boat with Cat Mantra. So when we left, we just heard from Marco.
Yeah, hello, it's Marco. You know what I mean? Just totally classic. That is honestly exactly what he said, and we just got talking about various stuff, inspirations, music, blah blah blah. And at this point I was working on my first album. This is called Fantasy. The first two came out on CD. They were on digital as well, kind of. Anyway, this is called Fantasy, and what Marco immediately said, "Do you fancy working with this?" was him and Chris Constantino / De Niro, as the Wolfmen, had kind of done half a track music-wise of Werewolves of London, the famous Warren Zevon track with Lou Marinelle. And he said, "Yeah, see what you want to do with that." And went in the studio with Double G. I did loads of guitar.
That was your guitarist at the time, right?
Yeah, Double G, yeah. Before CJ came on board there. Yeah, I always thought that was a bit cheesy, so we went Double G did that, and I did kind of, it was like a really punky version of Werewolves of London, and it came out fab. In fact, there was two different versions actually. There's a different version on the second album.
Yeah.
Called, because Marco thought I sounded too punky on one of the mixes that went out on this is called Fantasy. So on the album that I then called Werewolves of London after that, I'll put the punky version out.
Yeah.
But back in the MySpace days, Lou Marinelle, the co-writer, actually contacted me and said it's the best cover he's ever heard of Werewolves of London, and a lot of people have done it. So that was brilliant. So that was the first like new track.
Yeah.
So
then we had the second track, right, with Marco in that period.
Yeah. I can't actually remember how I came about doing this, but I was faffing around I didn't even have my own studio then. I had like a computer with digital software on it in my flat, and I just like got to messing with a man called Marco, and I added sort of beats and stuff, and I actually wrote lyrics for it.
So what made this track your choice? It just come from just a random choice?
I'd always thought that track, I'd always loved that track and thought it could handle a melody, you know, and well, it came out like so fantastic that better than I thought it would, and I sent it to Marco and he loved it, and then he put me in touch with a guy at the time at Sony called Luke Southern, because obviously the whole track was a sample of the original Adam and Marco track with added beats and vocals, and so Luke Southern at Sony licensed it, and I got to add it to the album and release it.
Yeah,
which was called Blimey.
So it featured at Ant Lib as well, right?
Yeah, there was an ant convention thing that went on every year. I went to a couple of them, and in the year it came out, the DJ put it on, and it was just an amazing moment, and I got a round of applause from the whole club, and that really made me appreciate Ant fans that that they appreciated something new, you know, with some original Ant work, you know,
Yeah.
and we've played it live several times since,
Of course, yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
We played it at Antfest,
Antfest.
but that's going forward in time.
Yeah.
So, but that was the 2 Ant tracks that were on the first album.
Yeah, so that was both on Mystical Fantasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what happened going into the next album then, before Werewolves of London?
Right, yeah. Well, I actually the next year sent my friend Claire, who went by the name Seashore on Ant Rap. I knew that Terry would be there. Mr. Terry Lee, legend. And I asked her to ask him if he'd be interested in becoming involved in the next one, and he said yeah.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to him on the phone a couple of weeks later, and shame he's a Chelsea fan. Terry. But yeah. So, because by the way, well, I don't need to go on to it yet, but well, I can tell you right now, me and Marco were never in a studio together. We always exchanged stuff via, you know, modern technology and added bits and mixed bits. But Terry came up to record with us in 2006.
Yeah. So how did you first get in contact with him? Like, did you speak to him on the phone?
Well, as I said, after Seashore had got him on board, I think it was because he knew Marco was on board that he thought, yeah, I'll give that a go then. And then yeah, he came up to our studio in Birmingham.
Yeah. So then this was recording for the tracks for the second album now.
Yeah.
So this is Those Crazy Demons.
Yeah, Those Crazy Demons. That track I actually wrote in the 90s, and if you hear it, when you hear it, you will very much be able to tell I was inspired by Nirvana at the time. If you listen thoroughly to the lyrics, it's a story of this guy explaining to his lady that everyone's on LSD except her, and the crazy demons are sending them away, and she's the one who's lost. But by the way, I don't touch anything illegal anymore, and in fact I think I've done LSD once when I wrote that. But yeah, Terry kicked some beats out for that, and they do sound kind of grungy. We didn't have the fat sort of compression of an Ant sound on that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a story about that night.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be preempting my interviewer.
That's okay. So there is a story that night, as at a gig.
Yeah. After the studio, I had a swing gig because, believe it or not, the other side of the coin is I actually sing swing music. In fact, if you search for me on whatever your preferred digital service is, Catman to that swing thing. And I was doing a swing gig in a pub that night. And Terry Lee and his son came with me, and after we left the studio, we got cabs, by the way, because we'd had a few. And Terry Lee picked up my speakers, and I'm like, Terry, no man, no, you cannot be my roadie. He's such a lovely, down-to-earth fella, Terry Lee, as probably many of you will know. Yeah, they came and watched the gig with me. And came back to my flat, and that night I also put that little 15-minute film, is it called Ant Music?
Yes.
Ant Music?
Yeah, Ant Music.
On, and Terry Lee had never seen it, and after watching it he said, typical, I'm the only one who didn't have any words. But stop drumming. He got lost in the superstore. You should watch that if you haven't seen it.
I should.
Yeah.
Great, so then there's another track, Confusion.
Yeah. Got Terry Lee back up to Brum for this, which was at the same time he did Angels Are Forever. But Confusion was a track I wrote even further back in time, in I think 1988. But I knew it had space for a really good kicking drum man, and Terry Lee was the man for the job. And that we used a real fat kind of compression sound on the drums on that, and lots of runs down the toms. Yeah, it was yeah, that I was really happy with the way that one turned
Yeah,
out.
I think that was one of my favourites on that album.
Really?
Yeah, partly because of
Thank you,
Terry's
CJ.
kicking drums and
mainly
that
because
really.
of that. Only because of that.
Not only because of that. I like the track, but that definitely brought something new to it from what I'd heard before, the early versions.
Yeah, and I wanted to. Yeah, I mean the early versions, of course, with synth.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, this was all. Well, I still remembered the same synth line at the start of the track, and then the drums kick in, and double G on the guitars, and bass, and oosh.
Yeah, kicking track.
Oosh.
So, but you were recording another track as well then in that session.
Yeah,
Was
and now
Angels Are
this.
Forever.
Yeah, Angels Are Forever. Now there's another. This was a new track that I'd written recently, and it's a bit dark. It sounds it is really up, but the darkness of it was that it was about flying through the stars after knocking yourself on the head, as in suicide. But I don't think of it like that now. It was just written at a bad moment. But it's a really up song, and I do plan on travelling the stars when I go eventually, which I hope is about 3 decades away at least. Just turned the big 5-0. Ouch.
It's definitely. I mean, it's got an upbeat sound. It's a positive sounding track.
Yeah, well, it is about the fact that
about
your spirit
life.
can explore the universe. I mean, we can't as humans. We haven't been to the moon since 1960. What about 1970? The last time, I don't know.
But there's something interesting about this track, right? Because it's the first and last time that both Terry Lee and Marco appeared together.
That's right, yeah. First and last time since the Prince Charming album that Marco Perrone and Terry Lee Mile are on a track together. So obviously I love that about it. I mean, look, folks, I am a massive Ants fan. As I said, that's why I get into music. So and working with my heroes, I still can't get my hat on about it, really, that it's happened. So both of them.
So how did Marco get involved with that track? We haven't really spoken about that.
It was the old I sent it him, he liked it, put some licks on.
Put it on.
Yeah, he's put some licks on, sent it me back. Well, what he normally does, / did, is would send me back the licks separately so I can mix them in, as opposed to actually send the track back mixed
with it or
so I can mix in exactly where I want him, and
Nice, yeah.
You'll find out why I said did later.
So that's after that we've got Wales of London release, and then what happens then? We've got a hiatus, a little break.
Yeah, I started off to Spain for about 12 months. In all honesty, I got myself in a bit of bother. I'm not sure if I should speak about it. I accidentally broke some hearts.
Yeah.
I don't really need to go into it deeply, but I thought, I just want to get out of the scene for a while. I went over to Spain for a year and did a bit of sailing, and then came back re-energized.
That's right,
ready to rock.
So then we have Whiskey at 7.
Yeah. Whiskey at 7, Prozac at 8. Now that is a line from a track that didn't feature an ant.
Yes.
Which is called Hippie Poverty, and it's very much an 18 plus.
Yeah.
So you'll find it under Mantra 2. This is This is before I went. I mean, when I went solo, it was kind of the same anyway, because I was still featuring the same artists. Aside from Double G and I went our separate ways before the hiatus. But yeah, this was still as Mantra 2.
Yeah.
And Hippie Poverty was one of them.
But Marco features on another track here, right?
Features on 2 of them actually. The first being Spotlight, which I actually wrote before my hiatus. It's about kind of about the accidental breaking of hearts, and about how when you're in the spotlight of a certain fan base, things affect you. Things can affect you and affect them and affect people, intentional or not. But I really enjoyed doing the track and got Marco on it. It was one of the first ones Snags did, and of course it's the first one that CJ Mantra, my son, featured on with Marco.
Yeah, that's true.
And of course it later turned up on my solo compilation album Legacy. But yeah, that's Spotlight for you.
Yeah.
CJ Mantra and Marco, and you like that?
I do
By the way,
like that.
Marco really enjoyed chatting to CJ a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was a
And
big
then
moment for
when
me
he
as
passed
well.
the phone back to me, I said, how did you make something as intelligent as that? Which was nice.
Which was nice. That was a scary moment. Was it easy
Yeah, I
getting?
did want to speak to him.
Well, yeah.
Josh didn't.
He's a big guitar influence on me as well. So
Yeah.
that was exciting.
And a powerful persona,
Yeah,
let's say.
but very friendly. We had a good
Yeah.
chat. Was it easy getting back in contact for that with Marco for Spotlight? So was it the same?
I just
same
phoned
deal?
him when I got back from Benidorm. And he went, hello. He didn't go, hello, it's Marco this time. He was just surprised to hear from me. And then I said, I've got some more ideas. And Marco, you know, he just likes to work. If he hears something he likes to work on it. And he's not about the money. By the way, Marco has never asked for a percentage or a session fee or anything. He still does great out of his amp music. I won't mention figures, but Marco he's doing okay, and he's wanted to do it for the love of the music.
Yeah,
So that's cool.
that's cool. Yeah. So he's on another track this album, which is Too Fast to Live.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks I've ever written, actually. And if you listen to the words, it is another 18 track, but it's the story I imagine of Johnny Rotten, from Johnny Rotten's point of view, when he meets Malcolm McLaren in Vivienne Westwood's Sex Job, SEX shop, and onwards. Marco put some great riffs down on that as well as Snagster,
he really
actually.
did. Yeah.
Nice Marco solo in it.
Yeah, that's a cool track.
Yeah.
And around this time, also Marco and Adam fall out, right? And there's a story.
Oh, was that around that time?
Yeah.
Is that what it says in your notes?
Well, that's what it says here.
Yeah. I was the first person, I think, that Marco phoned after him and Adam's last fallout, and the first thing he said to me was, "All you bipolar cunts can fuck off," which stands out in my mind. Actually, I've been downgraded. Well, I've been not downgraded, but changed from bipolar in my.
Sideways.
I've been sideways swiped. Apparently, I'm not actually bipolar, but I'm close.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was. That's a bit of an exclusive. Actually, I've never told anybody about that before. Well, maybe you.
Yeah, I knew that story
certainly
at the
haven't put it
time.
on a film.
Yeah.
I say film because I grew up in the 70s and 80s. So I don't think I'll go into the reasons particularly, because people who know it, and people who don't know it, don't know it. But they certainly haven't made up, and I'm not sure if they ever will. To be honest with you, I think that might be a reason why people like Terry weren't asked aboard the Kings of the Wolf and Tier 2 recently. When Dave and Lee did the Dirt Wears White Sox tour, and Terry, didn't. He was really hoping to do the Kings tour, but I think maybe the fact that there was going to be no Marco is possibly why Adam didn't call them, or maybe just because his band was so good, great. They're an absolutely awesome band.
They are great bands.
It could be just that. I can't be all bothered to rehearse up.
Yeah.
It's because my band is totally awesome.
We've already got it.
Go Will, Go Yola, and the others.
Yeah.
And God bless Tom.
But we would all love to see Terry Lee, I'm sure, up there.
Flipping it, yeah, not half.
Yeah.
Not half, mate.
Not half. Cool. So after this EP, we've got this is the going solo moment, right? This is the end of Manchester 2.
Yeah, I thought there's no point in calling it Manchester 2 anymore, because Manchester 2 kind of was me and Double G. Really, it was Mantra and there was 2.
Yeah.
So I thought I might as well just be Cat Mantra. It wasn't quite like the Adam going solo from the Ants, because I didn't sack any ants.
No. But so what's your first EP as Cat Mantra? Then we've got Cat Mantra and Raven.
Oh right, yeah. You know what? Before I did that, I released Legacy.
Did you?
Yeah, is it? Have you got your notes backwards?
Oh, possibly.
Or was Legacy ever mentioned?
No, well, Legacy isn't mentioned. No.
Oh right, yeah. So the first thing I did
That's my
was I
problem.
released stuff on digital only on my album Legacy.
I mean, now I think about that, that makes absolute sense because that'll be in 2014.
Yeah, and Terry Lee and Marco gave me permission to put them on the sleeve, which I absolutely loved. And,
Yeah.
It was all done with Photoshop.
Yeah.
And it's like a cowboy scene. I just thought Adam went for like an Apache Indian warrior thing, so I went for a cowboy thing. Why not? And you'll agree the cover is spectacular, isn't it?
Awesome, yeah.
The picture of me, I'm holding like some guns out like this, and but I was actually in my dad's back garden. There's a picture of CJ on the cover,
In my garden in
who was
Reading,
actually outside his house in Reading Uni.
Yeah.
Snagster was on the suit, and Terry Lee and Marco, if you look closely at the album cover, the pictures were actually of them at London Zoo the day they signed with CBS for the Kings album. And when I sent Terry a framed album cover, and he said, it takes 30 years off me, which it did.
That's right.
So yeah, Legacy featured a lot of ant tracks and other stuff that I was very proud of. There was an ant track that it'll be mentioned later actually, the Ramones one. So let's leave that.
We will come to that. But anyway, so then after Legacy, of course,
Catmantra and the Raven.
Catmantra and the Raven.
Yeah, my mate Dan Raven, / Wayne Hibberts, I met around the time of Antfest, and he headlined that show with his band Ant Music with a Z. And we became great mates, and then he formed his kind of solo persona as Dan Raven.
Yeah.
And he worships the ants. I love the ants, and I thought I want to get him on a record with an ant. And I just came up with this keyboard riff, which went. And before I'd even spoken to Wayne about it, I sent it to Marco, and it was like recorded on an SH10 keytar from the 80s, with a really naff brass sound. And I just said to Marco, I just think it's got something. And Marco said, so do I. So I kind of wrote a track around it. And then Marco I massively beefed up the keys, put on the beats, and Marco put some totally rocking guitar on it. And the lyrics are, it's Catmantra and the Raven, it's Catmantra and Dan Raven.
Yeah.
And that one also features CJ Mantra in a little guitar solo.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And Marco wasn't wasn't in the vid. And what happened to that track?
Well, the Trolls we're talking about.
Yeah, let's talk about the Trolls. I've been trolled, right? Ever since my first ever recording with Marco, actually, in 2004. But this one was the worst ever. I don't mind talking about it because it hasn't stopped me recording. It hasn't stopped people loving new music with ants and my own music. But every time I've released music with an ant, there's been trolls from every angle. Well, you hear about it all the time, don't you? People who are famous. Look, I'm not famous. I'm infamous, and fairly well known to certain amounts of ant fans, But the problem with this track was I posted I'm back and pictures of Marco on some ant pages on Facebook. We're in the Facebook era now, of course. And as I discovered later, Marco's own girlfriend was going around saying it wasn't him. And I think she had it in for me. She had it in for me.
Yeah.
For some time, for no reason. I've never met her. Don't know who she is. And it got really bad. And I blocked her. She sent a message to Dan Raven, aka Wayne, saying ridiculous things like, "We're going to get Sony to sue you," which is impossible because I wrote the tracks and I own every track that's been published with an ant because I have published them through my label in New York. I've been signed to since 2004, and the only way I stopped it was this massive message she sent to the Raven. I copied it and texted it to Marco, And after he read that, she didn't own. She actually deleted her entire Facebook account.
Yeah.
But Mud Sticks, and
course.
it is the worst selling EP track EP. I mean, it got a lot of views on YouTube, I think, from people who were trolls or were deciding. I mean, a lot of people posted on these pages supporting me, by the way, on these trolls, right, saying you can tell it's Marco. It's Marco.
Well, yeah, it is Marco.
But it affected, of course,
Yeah.
other tracks on that
Damaged
EP. It just totally affected that EP. Anyway, I've heard from other, I've actually got friends in low places, so trolls. I hear stuff. It was a bit of a shocker, that his own girlfriend, you know.
Yeah, you didn't really expect that going into it.
But he shut her up. But now that affected me and Marco's relationship ever since, which virtually doesn't exist now, which is why there won't be any more Marco tracks after this one we're speaking about.
No.
But by the way, I still love you, Marco, if you're watching this. Still my hero.
Yeah.
The end.
But so yeah, that closer relationship with Marco a bit, but we found a new relationship with a different art at this point, right?
Yeah, on that same EP was my first track, and with Raven, with a certain punk legend called Dave Barbarossa. But this time we didn't record together. He'd released a track called Barbarossa Beat through his manager John Taylor, and I spoke to him first. And I'd actually asked Dave to record with me a couple of years before, but he said, can't be bothered. Contact Lee Gorman, which I didn't bother with. But anyway, I just found something that went with these beats that really kicked, and they sent me the proper stems from the studio, and so was born. See If You're Alive.
Yeah, See If You're Alive. So yeah, very kicking beats on that track.
Yeah, I mean, flipping it. Barbarossa at his best.
Yeah.
Totally kicking it on. You tell me, Dave, Timbali, mainly, was it? With the danka. Listen to it, folks. See If You're Alive.
And then we had more Barbarossa, right, in the last year.
Are we at that now?
Yeah, previous attempts to get David aboard.
Yeah, oh yeah. The previous attempts
Which
have been mentioned.
have been mentioned.
Yeah, but what I want to say though is that track kind of got totally swallowed up by the Marco trolling, and nobody even noticed it. And there was 5 tracks on that EP, including an Alvin Stardust cover. Hey, but
that was
lead solo from CJ on it.
Which I do feature on as well.
Alvin Stardust rocks at the end.
That's
R.I.P.
That is a top track actually, not just the solo.
Yeah. So sorry, where are we?
Yeah, sorry. So after that EP, there was more tracks. Well, more work with Dave Barbarossa.
Which brings us up virtually today. This is why it's the Ant Sessions 2004 to 2018.
That's
right. Dave came to the studio, actually it's last November. It takes a while to get these things sorted, folks. And he knocked out some great beats for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so what tracks are these going to? Right, so this is...
Well, first of all, we did a cover of Wonderful World, not Louis Armstrong's version, Joey Ramone's version. And I absolutely love that. By the way, I booked the studio for 2 hours, and Dave rocked, because we went into a recording studio. I could do everything at my studio except drums. I haven't got space or mics to set up a drum kit, so we booked into a studio locally, and Dave totally knocked out Wonderful World.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I was there at this session.
CJ was there. What do you think?
Well, it was amazing. It was just first trying everything. There was no. He was just.
In fact,
going away.
The technician was basically worshipping Dave. When I booked it, it was like, well, is he a pro? Will he know? Is he going to get? I was like, yeah, he's a pro. Man.
He's a pro.
He's a young lad, and I said, just Google Dave Barbarossa. Wow. And he still didn't believe it till it happened, but then he was like following me around, drooling. Wasn't he?
He was, yeah. This must be one of the smoothest recording sessions ever. It was just straight through.
Yeah. And by the way, the technician, I've forgotten the name of, did get a great sound on it.
He
Actually,
did get a great sound. Yeah, he did.
But
Well.
this, I was getting all these recordings of Dave to take back to my studio. I mean, Wonderful World, he just had a basic guide track where I'd strum along to a kind of basic beat, and then we built the whole track around Dave. Well, but I kind of built See If You're Alive around Dave's beats, so we built Wonderful World around Dave's beats, and yeah.
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
and
So we.
Wait. So he appears on another track as well, right? So Don't We Miss You Now?
Yeah, Don't We Miss You Now. Now that's what the one that was on the second album, wasn't it?
That was, yeah.
And actually, Kevin Mooney was nearly on that originally, but I sent it to him, and he said it's already done. And it's also, by the way, it's Marco's favourite track by me ever, and he's not on it. It's my tribute to the Ramones.
Yeah.
And because as far as New York punk goes, that's it for me. Unless you count Blondie, who I don't really understand why they were actually classed as punk ever, really. But I'm probably going to get told off for that. But the beats I intended for a cover of My Way, which didn't work out, and then they fitted rockingly into Don't We Miss You Now, so I prefer that because it's one of my tracks as opposed to paying more publishing stuff out. And it's kicking.
Cool track, yeah.
It's a 2-minute track,
Very
and just like all Ramones tracks, it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Also uses beats for an original track in this.
Oh yeah. This is going to be the last but one track on the album, and the last track on the digital release, and it's called Scream If You Dream. And that's another one though. I said to Dave, I had no idea what it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be called Scream If You Dream, and I just asked him to wing it 3 minutes, and he did his stuff 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Did all sorts of different things. And he nailed it, of course, but I actually found it very difficult. It wasn't something came to me like with See If You're Alive. I found it very difficult to write that track, and eventually something came to me. But I'm really chuffed with it now. And Scream If You Dream, it's not about having a nightmare. It's about, if you want to get somewhere in the business, you've got to scream if you dream. And you've got to rock it. You've got to be confident. You've got to. There isn't even something about ignoring the trolls in the lyrics, because I have been doing 14 years now, and that is actually the only track that isn't fully finished yet. There's going to be some mixing down and a little bit of faffing with when I get back from the boat, actually.
Including my appearance as well.
Yes, yes, of course. Siege. The's a great middle eight, which happened kind of by accident. There's a lot of great punky guitar in it by Snags.
Yeah.
I should mention, by the way, on Wonderful World is also Pete Milo.
Oh yeah,
But some great punky guitaring and by Snags, and then the middle eight is a Dave solo with a CJ solo, which kind of goes completely unpunk, doesn't it? You tell me.
Yeah. Well, it's not my playing isn't particularly punk at all, and
but it really fits with the track.
I think it does, yeah.
And it's kind of gives you a break, gives you a moment away from the bang.
It is, I guess maybe as a middle eight should. It is a break.
And I put quite a bit of keybs on that as well. That track actually has some strings on it, which I haven't used since the 80s.
Yeah, cool track.
Yeah, so that's the only one that's kind of still awaiting completion.
So then one of the final tracks on the Ant Sessions album anyway, which is There's a Bullet.
Yeah, and it's actually, it's not going to be on the release because, well, for one thing, it doesn't feature any ants. It's actually 30 seconds of rancheros, and it's also, it's me on guitar, and it's the first thing I ever learnt to play when I was 12, and it's the last thing I've ever played, and I've actually purposefully decided to retire from playing guitar with a bookend of that riff, written by Marco Peroni, of course. But I'm not going to put it on the digital release because of publishing, but it's going to be on the CD, cassette and vinyl, And it's also, of course, wait till you see the cover art. You might, yeah, the cover art was designed by Dan Rowan, by the way.
Yeah.
And there's a bullet with my name on it. It has a meaning, because there has been a bullet with my name on it since 2004. Cheers, trolls. But I do plan, just so you might relax, trolls. This is my last album with the Ants. That's my decision, and this is the compilation of all of it, and I'm so proud of having got to work with my heroes. Flipping it, you know, when I was watching Prince Charming review, I did not imagine that I would be standing next to Liam in the studio.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah, going back to the Prince Charming review.
Yeah. So it's a bookend of my artwork,
Excellent.
as well as the bookend on There's a Bullet. A lot of bookends.
Well, what's next for Cat Mantra? Is there more after this?
Well, I'm not sure exactly. I think I'll go where the wind blows me, and you know what? Forget the rest of those notes.
Okay.
I'm bored of. No, I've enjoyed this, but I can't be bothered to go into what have you got there.
Well, we're talking about, you know, you're starting out in the music business, the clubs, working abroad, Telstar, Pub Mantra.
Okay. Well, I'll run through that quickly. I went through it the old-fashioned way. Did the working men's clubs. Got booed, got good, got better. First time I almost got signed was 1988 when my band was called Hell House, and actually saw Chrysalis and Do It, which some ants will know. Went abroad, did a bit. Got signed to Telstar in '98 with a band called Papa Mantra, but I was on keyboards and hated it and left before the single came out. Well, actually, you know what? I'll tell you, I didn't leave. I got sacked. But that was mainly because I hated it, and then the single came in at about 148, and then they got dropped.
We had some good.
The cool thing about that moment is our label mates were E17 and PJ and Duncan, aka Anton Deck. Let's get rid. Anyway, let's not talk, let's not go into Let's Get Ready to Rumble right now.
No. You want to finish it with a song?
Yeah. I'm waiting for you, the interviewer.
Great. Well, that's the end of my notes and everything I have to ask you. So.
Great. Well, we're on a boat.
Yeah.
And
we're on a boat.
I won't be on a boat when you see this, because I'm gonna put this up after the album's out. I hope that a lot of you Ant fans will be have been interested to hear the story behind this whole compilation, which I'm very proud that my son became part of.
As am I, yeah.
I brought him up on Ant Music.
You did, yeah.
First time I saw it live was the Kings of Orphan tour. Was that 2 years ago now?
That was, yeah, 2016.
The Kings album.
Yeah.
Boosh.
Best
Best album
show I've
ever
ever seen still.
by anyone.